Kings and kingdoms. Several major ruling dynasties emerged in the part of the subcontinent between the 7th and the 12th centuries. Between the 7th and the 12th centuries, between different dynasties emerged in different parts. Emergence of new dynasty. By the 7th century, there were big landlords or warrior chiefs in different regions of the subcontinent. So big landlords and warrior chiefs were in different regions of the subcontinent by the 7th century. Existing kings were often acknowledged as their samantas or subordinates. So these big landlords were often acknowledged by existing kings as their subordinates. Okay, they were expected to bring gifts for the king to or overlords and provide them with military support. So what did the zamindars do? They or these big landlords do? They brought gifts for the kings or overlords, and they also provided the king with military support. Some such kingdoms were Ra- Rakshakruta, Chalukya, Gujaras, and Prithanas, etc. Okay, so administration of the kingdom. The kings at FX they adopted big titles like Maharaja Adhiraja. That means King of Kings. Okay, they adopted big titles of all these things. Okay, the king shared powers with their samantas and also with association of peasants, traders, and farmers. So the king looked after everyone: peasants, traders, brahmanas, etc. So resources were obtained from the producer who persuaded to surrender part of what they produced. So these kings persuaded the farmers to surrender a part of what they had produced. So the resources were used to finance the king's establishments and construct temples and forts. Okay, so these resources was used to finance the king establishments and construct roads and forts, just as we use tax these days. Okay, functionaries for collecting revenues were recruited from influential families. From these royally influenced families, their revenue was collected from these people. Prashastis and land grants. Prashastis tell us how rulers wanted to depict themselves as valiant and victorious warriors. Prashastis, they tell us that kings always wanted to win wars. The kings often rewarded Brahmanas by grants of land. So what did they do? The king often rewarded the Brahmanas by grants of land. These were recorded on the copper plates, which were given to those who received the land. So Brahmanas were given lands for free. Warfare of wealth. For centuries, the Gujarat, Prithara, Rashtrakuta, Pala dynasty fought for control over Kannauj. Kannauj, Peripatala region. When they fought for this, with a long-drawn conflict, it was known as a tripartite struggle, as three parties were involved in it. Now, the Sultan of Mahmud of Ghazni raided the subcontinent almost every year and looted temples like Somnath, Gujarat, Mahmud, and instructs the scholar named Al-Biruni to write on the account of the subcontinent. So Mahmud of Ghazni, as these conflicts were between these inland rulers, okay, between these inland rulers, they fought against each other, local rulers fought against each other. They could not become, what did they do? They could not become united to exalt the outer force. So what Mahmud of Ghazni raided the subcontinent almost every year, and India had a lot of wealth. Okay, so this Mahmud of Ghazni, Mahmud of Ghazni took a lot of wealth every year from the temples like Somnath, Gujarat, Mahmud, okay, etc. Mm, Other kings engaged in warfare were the Chauhans, who ruled over the region around Delhi and Ajmer. So the Chauhans ruled over the area of Delhi and Ajmer. Like they were very brave rulers. All Rajputs were very brave rulers, but then these were also very brave rulers. The Chauhans were engaged in conflict with the Chalukyas of the Gujarat and the Gandharvas of Western UP. So they were in a conflict with Gujarat and UP. Prithviraj III was a popular Chauhan ruler who defeated the Afghan ruler Ghori in 1991 but lost to him in 1992. Okay? Because they did not have unity. Okay? They were always fighting. Now the Cholas. The Cholas were a small family from Urayur. Okay? They were from South India. The success of Vijayalaya conquered small neighboring regions and the kingdom grew in size and power. So, the Chola kingdom grew in size and power by the successors of Vijayalaha. Rajaraja I was considered as the most powerful Chola ruler and expanded control over most of the area. His son Rajendra I conquered Sri Lanka and Southeast Asia. Cholas built were big temple builders. So they built a lot of temples. Two temples were the Thanjavur and the Gangai Kodachorapuram. Okay, thousands of devotees visited the Thanjavur temple. Okay, so agriculture were well developed along with the methods of irrigation. Settlements of peasants called Ur became prosperous with the spread of irrigation in agriculture. Southern Plateau, large agriculture grows over there during the monsoon. In the village council and Nadu performed several administrative functions. So the village council and Nadu they performed several administrative functions. So the association of the traders known as Nagarams also performed administrative functions in the town. So the traders will also do administrative functions in the town. The institution also was mentioned about the Sabha. Sabha had a separate committees to look after irrigation work, gardens and temples. So Sabhas were there in every villages and Sabhas had separate committees to look after different works.